Flagler Fantasy League weekly show. We have a little different setup this week. I'm sure everyone will enjoy the addition to the show. I'd like to welcome our special guest, April, and a new segment for this week's show, April's Pick to Click. Not only is she beautiful, she knows more about baseball than half the owners in this league.
Thanks, Brett. I'm glad my assets could be used in the show.
It sure can. Let's take a look at this week's matchup. The first matchup is between Nails Belvedere's and Brad's A equals awful. What I think here, Belvedere's, what a waste of a decent team. You don't even check your lineup. You don't have any closers, and instead of picking up closers, you have Ken Griffey Jr. on your team, and you don't even use your DL spot. A for awful, you've traded for every good pitcher in the league. That's all you got is pitching. This is just a boring matchup. Belvedere doesn't care. Awful can't hit. I'm going to go awful, 7-5 winning. A for awful, 7-5. April, who's your pick to click in this week's matchup?
Well, Brandon Webb goes for 10-0 at Florida on Wednesday, and there's no reason to suspect he will not win here. I just get so excited when he's on the bump. Also, Nails is a clown. Will he ever win a week?
I doubt it. Team Marquez faces the powerhouse Blue Ducks. What I see here, Marquez, you still haven't checked your team. It's been 8 weeks and you haven't made a roster move. I'd also like to congratulate Jorge on having a full roster now that John Lackey finally came off the DL. Now he's using a full roster. You may win a few categories now, but not many. Big Ducks. This just in. You either win big or lose big. I really like your team. David Wright is hitting up with 2 homers last week. You're getting a bunch of free wins playing Jorge. I'm going to pick Blue Ducks, 9-2. April, who is the pick to click here?
Well, nothing turns me on more than a hot cubby. Ryan Theriot hit .364 last week, and I don't see anything different this week. It would be nice if George wouldn't give away free wins every week. Does your league need a new owner?
We could definitely make room for you. Well, my Kirby's crew travels to play Seabass and the Fellas. This is what I got here. Crew, Rollins, first week back he hit .480. Thank God he's off the DL. And somehow Nate McCluth has 11 home runs. Didn't even know he was in the major leagues. Good thing he's on my team. Manny Ramirez, he hit .429 last week. And I know I play Seabass and the Fellas who gets multiple saves a week, but I think I'm going to take him, give him a run for his money in saves. Seabass and the Fellas, 16 home runs last week. That's incredible with 5 players with multiple home runs. You picked up Verlander. That's going to be big. That'll pay off in the long run. I'm going to pick you 8-4, even though I think I may surprise some people here. April, who is your difference maker in this matchup?
Well, all signs point to Lance Berkman. Like myself, he is on fire. With 16 home runs and batting just under .400.
That is true. You're both on fire. This next matchup on the menu is Indiana Dykstra's at Bo Sox Nation. Dykstra's, what a blockbuster trade you just pulled off. I love what you just did. Your infield now consists of Maurer behind the plate, Lee at first, Utley at second, Jeter at shortstop, and A-Rod at third. I don't see how you can lose any hitting stats. Bo Sox, a couple questions for you. Why would you trade A-Rod? He's untradeable. The first pick in the draft, Peyton Manning, LeBron James, those guys just don't get traded. You don't trade A-Rod. I don't know what you're doing. Also, you should have given Verlander a little more time. You can't just cut him. He's a top 10 pitcher, and you just cut him. Anyway, I'm going Indiana Dykstra's 9-3. 9-3 Dykstra's. April, what do you think of this matchup?
Well, Chase Utley does it every week, but Derek Lee just gives me goosebumps. I'm thinking it'll be a big week with the Cubs playing at Houston and at Pittsburgh.
Good call, April. I can see that happening too. Blue Jays at Sasquatches. This matchup here features Paul versus Mike. Blue Jays. Wells, picked up Vernon Wells for the DL spot. He's out for 8 weeks. That could pay off in the long run. Maybe interleague play will get Howard started up. He's batting .188. Still, he has 10 home runs. I'm still a big fan of him. Also, I'm not a big fan of your Santana trade. You traded away all your arms, and I think you overpaid for Johan. Sasquatches, you still don't have a closer. I talked to you at the bar the other night, and you're a mess. Your team's a mess. You need your Mets to produce. Beltran and Reyes, they haven't done anything. That clubhouse is falling apart just like yours. April, what do you think here?
Well, Paul's new addition, Johan Santana, throws at Atlanta on Thursday, and I don't expect anything less than a stellar pitching performance. Plus, Sasquatches suck. He could use a closer.
April, you have it all figured out. Game of the week time. And this is a crucial matchup for both teams. The Fighting Canellis go to face Kenny's newly named KLB Tulsa All-Stars. Game of the week matchups. Canellis, first of all, you didn't show up for the show this week, so I'm going to definitely pick you to lose. Maybe a game a week will help you make a win. Your team is falling apart. I like that the addition of Swisher and Cano will benefit from A-Rod coming back. Casimir throws at Oakland, and Hamels at Washington see 2 solid starts, and Jim Maloney has been quietly pretty solid. KLB All-Stars, I just want to give you a shout-out for graduating from the University of Tulsa. Congrats.
Woo!
Also, last week your team ran into a buzzsaw. You're one of the best teams in the league. CBS NFL was just on fire. Ryan Dugan going down hurts, and Alfonso Soriano. Can't say anything about him. It was unbelievable. Put up an unbelievable week. April, do I even need to ask who your pick to the click is here?
Well, this one is easy. The Game of the Week difference marker is Alfonso Soriano. 7 home runs, 14 RBIs, and .533 batting average. Soriano makes me so hot. If he puts up numbers anywhere close to this, Colin will get destroyed.
I'm just glad we added this new segment to the show. I don't know if Colin will ever be back. I doubt it. What took us so long to think of this? April, I'm glad we had you on this week's show.
Thanks, it's my pleasure. I love fantasy baseball.
Thanks to April for joining us, and thanks to all the owners that have tuned in, and we will see you next week!
She's a